Well, hello. Pastor Mike here with an important update on the ministries of the Mission Church in light of the current global pandemic COVID-19, or as we refer to it, the coronavirus. I know that you've heard it said many times in the last few weeks that these are unprecedented times, and yet it's still appropriate to begin a conversation about this issue with those words because they truly are unprecedented times. I mean, really, think about it. Who would have thought when we were celebrating the new year, 2020 was just beginning, that 2 months into this new year, that the governor of Iowa would declare a state of medical disaster that would actually call businesses to shut down and for gatherings, both public and private, to be limited to only 10 people. And that's not a suggestion. At this point, that's actually the law. And even though we couldn't have anticipated it back then, we're here now. And because we're here, we must respond to our current circumstances. Now, there are two ways that we can respond to our current reality. We can respond with fear, or we can respond with faith. Now, many of our friends and neighbors and even our family members are gripped with fear. But those of us who follow Christ, we're called to live both in the good times and in the tough times. We're called to do it by faith. Not faith in the government or in the medical community or even in our friends or in ourselves, but we are called to live it by faith in God. Faith that He's working all things to His glory and to our ultimate eternal good. And also faith that says that even if He chooses not to deliver us from all discomfort and suffering today, He has nonetheless promised to walk with us through the fire and to give us sustaining grace to persevere. Now, I don't like the challenges that we're living in right now any more than you do. But I will say this, that I'm excited about the possibilities that this challenge brings to us, both to grow in our faith and to represent Christ, His kingdom, and the gospel in fresh new ways. Now, last night, the elders and deacons met with Pastor Brett and Jim Olson and myself to develop a plan for the Mission Church to move forward during these unique days. I want to take a few moments here to explain to you some of the points that we settled on and agreed to as it relates to moving forward. First, to protect your health and to combat the spread of COVID-19, we're suspending all ministry gatherings for the next 4 weeks. Now, when you hear that, I know that sounds shocking, and yet the times demand such action. Now, be assured that if the crisis improves, if the governor removes the ban on gathering, then we will reinstate our ministry gatherings in the most expeditious and safest way possible. Of course, if the crisis lingers a little longer, then we'll keep you updated on where things are. In the meantime, we are going to utilize the technology that's available to us to remain connected with you on a weekly basis. So let me explain a little bit about how we intend to do that. First of all, we're going to maintain our weekly worship service through online streaming. Each Sunday at 10 a.m., just like normal, the music, the announcements, and the message of the week will be available to you online by streaming format just as it is now. And if you're unable to connect with us at the 10 o'clock hour because of some other issue, maybe you're working or sleeping in, you can connect with us by going to the archive section, and the messages in the service each week will be there for you to click on and participate in. Our website address is www.themissiondsm.org. Now let me explain just a little bit about how to access the live streaming, because most of us are here together and we're doing it live, so we don't know how to do that. So on Sundays at 10 a.m. or just a little bit before 10 a.m., you're going to want to go to the website and you're going to want to click on the tab titled Resources. And once you do that, then you will click on the word Messages. And when you do that, you'll scroll down just a little bit and you'll see a sentence informing you about clicking on a link to access the live feed. Now, be aware of this, that link is only visible on Sunday morning, probably about 30 minutes, maybe 15 minutes prior to the service beginning. So if you were to go there, say, in a few moments after seeing this video and want to give it a practice run, well, you're not going to see the link, okay? You're only going to see it on Sunday morning, but be assured when you go there, you will see that link on Sunday morning, say around 9:30, 9:45. Now, if you're accessing the archived messages, you do many of the same steps. You go to the Resources tab, you click on Messages, and then you scroll down, and you'll see a variety of boxes there. And those boxes will contain graphics and or titles of services that have already been done. And so you can access those by simply clicking on the box, and the content that is there will begin to come to you. Another thing that we want to do during this time is maintain a connection with our children and our youth. And so on a weekly basis, our children and youth ministries are going to share a video that they will make personally and some relevant content so that they can maintain connection with your students and or children. Now, Pastor Adam and Miss Tracy and Miss Laura and Miss Jessica, they truly do value the interaction that they have with your children. And so they are anxious to do all that they can to maintain that important connection. Now, this content and these videos will come to you by way of a special email blast. And when that email blast comes, it will be titled for youth or for children. And that's all that will be in that email blast so that it's not confusing and you'll know exactly what you're receiving. And then you can click on the various links and it'll take you to the content that they're providing. Also, Pastor Brett and I are going to at least produce one video a week in order to stay in contact with our adults. And through those videos, we want to provide encouragement, prayer, devotionals, updates, and maybe even some limited instruction. But each one will come and you'll be able to participate with us in whatever thing we're trying to bring your way. Additionally, or as well as the other with the children and the youth, these will come to you by way of a special email blast. Now, I want you to know that during this time, our intention is to maintain our normal office hours. And so Monday through Friday, from 9 till 4, you can call the office and we'll be available to take your call if you would like to stop by and just visit and talk a bit or share some thoughts or whatever. We're available and we'll be here at the church. If you would like for one of our pastors to come by and actually visit you at your home, we would be happy to do that as well. You just need to contact the office, let us know. We'll set up an appointment to do that. In the same vein, if your youth or your children would like to visit with either Pastor Adam or Tracy, I'm sure we can do something to make that happen as well. Now, I really want to get this point across to you, so I'm encouraging you to really pay careful attention here. If you need assistance, if you need help getting to the store, if you need someone to pick up medicine and bring it to your house, or you need someone maybe to pick up a few things for you because for whatever reason you just can't get out, we want to be here to help you in this time. In fact, let me just tell you, I've already gotten a couple of emails from people in the congregation who have said, hey, Pastor Mike, if somebody needs that kind of assistance, call on us. We'd like to help. So there are people available who are willing and able to help. And so we just want to make sure, especially that our senior population or the senior members of our congregation understand that they're not alone and they don't have to sit and suffer without things. All they have to do is pick up the phone, send a text or an email, let us know, and we'll be glad to respond to that. Also, I can't stress enough that although we are temporarily prevented from gathering, we truly do want to maintain connection with you as much as is possible. So please, please do not hesitate to let us know if there's some way that we can serve you during this time. Now, I need to share a few words at this point about a sensitive topic, and that sensitive topic is financial support. You'll be glad to know that the Mission Church at present is in a strong, stable financial position. And the reason that that's so is because God is blessed, and also because you've been faithful in your giving. And I don't want to take that for granted. So let me just say right now, thank you. Thank you for being faithful. Thank you for your regular support. And thank God that we've had the resources to be able to do that. Now, I truly believe that TMC can come through this crisis and we can actually maintain our strong and stable financial position, but it's only going to happen as we continue to be faithful in our support of the ministry. Now, there are two primary ways in which your faithful support is needed. Number one is the general fund. The general fund of the church is what supports the overall ministry of TMC. From the mortgage to the upkeep on the property to utilities, our ministry staff, and all the resources and supplies that it takes to support the congregation, all of that is funded by your regular tithes and offerings. And we can only do what those resources make available. So that's one area. The second area is our faith promise to missions. Our faith promise to missions supports our global outreach ministry of the Mission Church, of which currently we have 30 missionaries in 14 countries that depend, at least in part, on the monthly support that we've committed to give them. Now, I want you to imagine, if you can, I want you to imagine facing this coronavirus crisis in a place where you don't have the support of your family or your friends. You don't have access to the world-class health care that we have here in the United States. And you don't have a government that is working hard to help its citizens. I want you to imagine what it must be like serving in another country and knowing in your heart that, at least in part, the resources that you need to support your family and your ministry are being given voluntarily and are coming from people who are also under the crisis. And you can imagine the perhaps concern that that might bring. Will that support still come? Will I be able to continue on during this time? And so I share that with you to simply say this, that we absolutely must do everything that we can to ensure that our global outreach budget is fully funded so that our missionaries do not have to be concerned about the support, at least the part that we've committed to, the Mission Church that we've committed to. They don't have to worry about that. They'll know that it's coming and that they can count on us. Now, let me say a word about the actual how-to of giving. You know, normally we don't even have to give that any thought, do we? We just come to our worship gathering each week, and typically we bring our offering with us, and then when the offering plate is passed, we just throw it in. That's exactly what Connie and I do, all right? But let me tell you that that option is not going to be available here for the next 4 weeks specific. So the question is, how can you give during this time? Well, there are 3 ways that we want to inform you about how you can keep your support coming. First of all, you can choose to give online through our online giving portal. To do that, again, you go to our website, www.themissiondsm.org, and on the home page, you'll find a tab. It's the very last one on the right that says Give. And when you click there, it's going to take you to a secure page where you can give a one-time gift. You can even set up a reoccurring gift. at whatever interval you would like. And that way, then, at the appropriate time, it's going to send your gift to the church. If you have any questions or concerns about how that works, please contact our church administrator, Jim Olson. He'd be glad to help you. Now, you can also mail your contribution to the church, and let me just give you our address. Our address is the Mission Church, 12,001 Ridgemont Drive, Urbandale, Iowa, 50325. And just as it has been for hundreds of years, right? The mail still works. And so we can put a check or what have you into an envelope, send it to that address, and we'll get it, and it'll be credited to your account, and it will help our ministry continue on. Finally, let's just assume that during all this time, you're getting a little bit of cabin fever, and you need some sunshine and some fresh air and maybe some rational conversation. You can get in your car or you can drive over, and we're here Monday through Friday, and you can bring your gift and personally give it to us there. And hey, if you want a cup of coffee and if you want to have a conversation, we can do that also. Okay? Great. So there you have it. That's an update on where we are and how we're going to move forward. This is not the way any of us want to do life. It's not the way that we want to do ministry, but it is where we are. And by God's grace, we're going to press forward because we have a mission. And that mission is to love God by loving others, helping them become fully functioning followers of Christ. And that doesn't change no matter what's going on in the world. And so I encourage you in your home, in your community, in your neighborhood, wherever it is that you go, don't forget that you are a representative of Christ, that you are a person who can share the gospel, and we encourage you to do that. And during this time, there's going to be some resources coming your way. I know that Pastor Brett specifically is interested in producing a few videos that will give you some tips and some helps and some resources on how to evangelize, how to share Christ during this time of crisis, okay? So be looking for those. They'll be coming out. And finally, before I go, let me just remind you to connect with our live stream this Sunday morning about maybe 9:50, 9:45, 9:50. Click on that link and you'll be ready so that when the service starts at 10 o'clock, you won't miss a thing. I can tell you that Will is going to have a full music package. You'll have a band. We'll be singing the songs. If we're able to, we'll even put the lyrics there on the screen as well so that you can follow right along in your home and sing with us just like you do when we gather here. We'll have some announcements. We'll have other pieces of information that will be of importance to you. And I'm going to continue right on in the Gospel of Luke. And we won't miss a beat on that. We'll just continue right on and share the Word of God just like we do. So I'm looking forward to how this is all going to flesh itself out, okay? And I'm anxious to worship with you, even if it's by distance like this. And I'm anxious to share God's Word with you this Sunday. So be safe, be careful. Again, don't hesitate to contact us if you need help. If you have any questions about any of the things I've talked about, hey, just reach out, let us know. We'll be happy to do all we can to make things as clear as we possibly can until this time of crisis passes. And let me assure you, I'm confident it will. There may be others coming down the road, but this one will pass, and we will get back to gathering together, and it'll be a great time when we're able to do that. So God bless. We're praying for you. Pray for us, and we'll connect soon.